Have you ever wondered if the beautiful snake plant in your home is doing more harm than good? I know. It sounds crazy. Everyone talks about how this plant brings in good vibes, filters the air, and boosts wealth energy. But what if I told you, for some people, especially those born under certain zodiac signs, that same plant could be quietly draining prosperity from your life? Yeah, I'm serious. And it's not your fault. It all comes down to placement and energy alignment that no one's probably ever told you about. Let's talk Virgo. You guys are planners, perfectionists, and detail-oriented. You clean, you arrange, you measure everything twice. But when it comes to energy flow in your home, sometimes being too precise actually blocks abundance. Then there's Cancer deep feelers who love cozy corners and emotional safety. You may keep your snake plant next to your bed because it makes you feel calm, but that could be why you're tossing and turning all night and waking up tired. Leo, bold and radiant, wants everything to look magazine-worthy. But guess what? That big, beautiful plant you've placed in the spotlight might be sucking your wealth out the door. And Libra, you thrive on symmetry and beauty, always striving for balance. But having two snake plants flanking your hallway could be splitting your wealth energy in half. So in this video, we're breaking down 4 zodiac signs that are unintentionally sabotaging their wealth just by placing a plant in the wrong spot. It's not about being wrong. It's about finally learning what no one taught you. Because once you understand how your sign interacts with energy, you can shift everything. Let's realign your space, your mindset, and your money flow. And it all starts with a single plant. Let's start with Virgo. If you're a Virgo, chances are you like things just so. You plan your day, your week, sometimes your whole life down to the minute. You probably have a spreadsheet for your plants, or at least a mental checklist. You're efficient, you care, and that's your gift. But here's where it can get tricky when it comes to energy flow, especially in Feng Shui. Being too precise can backfire. Let me explain. Virgos are ruled by Mercury, the planet of analysis and communication. You process the world logically, but energy doesn't always follow logic. In fact, it often flows in circles, spirals, unexpected waves. That's why many Virgos unknowingly block energy in their homes, especially financial energy. You tend to tuck things into corners, clean obsessively, and keep everything in order. So when you place your snake plant, it's probably sitting flush against the wall, in the most symmetrical, clutter-free space you can find. Here's the problem. In Feng Shui, plants are supposed to breathe, especially the snake plant. It's like a sort of energy. It needs space. If it's squeezed into a corner or pressed up behind a piece of furniture, it can't circulate qi properly. And for Virgo, that placement style is almost second nature. But that second nature could be the reason you've been feeling like you're working so hard and not seeing the return. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that your natural instinct to control, to organize, to perfect can sometimes block the flow of money and opportunity. Let me give you an example. I had a client named Rachel. She's a Virgo. Super smart, super organized, had her whole apartment mapped out with labels and zones, but her finances were always tight. She couldn't figure it out. Her job was steady, her habits were disciplined, but the abundance just wasn't flowing. When we looked at her space, guess what? Her snake plant, the one she got to attract wealth, was tucked neatly behind her desk, close to the back wall, between a cabinet and a filing box. No light, no air, just sitting there, trapped. She thought she was keeping things tidy. What she was really doing was suppressing her energy ally. We moved the plant just a few feet over to the southeast corner of the room, where soft morning light filtered in. We added a small bowl of sea salt nearby to absorb stagnant energy. And you know what happened within 2 weeks? She got offered a side gig she wasn't even looking for. It paid more than her regular job. She said it felt like the universe finally noticed her. Now, I'm not saying the plant did all the work. Rachel did the inner work too. But moving that plant helped shift her external environment in a way that matched her intention. That's what Feng Shui is about. It's not magic. It's alignment. So if you're a Virgo, here's what you need to know. First, don't overthink your placement. Trust the feeling. Let the plant guide you. Place it in a spot where it can stand tall, breathe freely, and receive natural light. Ideal location: southeast corner of your main room. That's the wealth area in traditional Feng Shui. And for Virgos, that direction also resonates with wood energy growth, movement, financial expansion. Second, don't trap the plant in your need for perfection. It's not about symmetry, it's about energy. Let it lean a little. Let it be wild. You don't have to micromanage your abundance. Sometimes, abundance flows when you stop trying to control it all. Third, add elements that support the plant's job. A citron crystal, for example, amplifies money energy. A polished obsidian stone protects it. A bowl of white salt purifies. But keep it simple. Don't create another project for yourself. This is about ease, not effort. And finally, start a ritual. Every Monday morning, take a soft cloth, wipe the plant's leaves, and while you're doing it, say your affirmation out loud. For Virgo, it might be I release control and invite aligned flow, or my efforts are supported by universal rhythm, something that reminds you you don't have to do it all alone. The plant becomes your mirror. If it's dry, you're drained. If it's thriving, you probably are too. It's a living metaphor. So treat it with the same care you treat your to-do list, but with more love and less judgment. One more thing. Virgo is connected to the digestive system in astrology. That means your gut feelings are often right. So when you stand in your home and ask yourself, does this feel like flow trust, that first hit? If something feels tight, boxed in, blocked, it probably is. Energy is always talking to us. We just have to stop long enough to listen. And if the message today is move the plant, make space, trust the shift, then maybe that's exactly what your abundance has been waiting for. Now let's talk about Cancer. If you're a Cancer, you probably have a deep emotional bond with your home. More than most signs, your space is sacred to you. It's where you go to recharge, to feel safe, to escape the chaos of the world. And when it comes to your plants, you don't just care for them, you love them. You talk to them, you name them, you move them around depending on how you're feeling that day. That emotional sensitivity is your strength, but in Feng Shui, too much attachment can create energy stagnation, especially when it comes to attracting money and abundance. Here's where the challenge comes in. Cancer is ruled by the moon, which governs emotion, reflection, and the subconscious. So, you're naturally drawn to keep things close to your heart, close to your bed, close to your comfort zone. You might keep your snake plant in your bedroom because it helps you feel grounded or safe. But that could be the very reason why your sleep's been restless, or why you keep waking up in a fog. In Feng Shui, the bedroom is supposed to be a place of deep yin energy, calm, soft, and restorative. The snake plant, with its bold vertical blades, is more yang. It's active, protective, energetic, and in a space meant for stillness. That strong energy can create conflict. I had a client named Melinda. She was a classic Cancer, nurturing, thoughtful, and deeply connected to everything in her space. Her bedroom looked like a dream: warm lights, soft colors, family photos, and yes, a big, beautiful snake plant right beside the headboard. She said it helped her feel watched over. But she also mentioned she'd been having vivid, intense dreams and waking up feeling emotionally exhausted. When I visited, The energy in her room was thick, not negative, just heavy. We moved the plant, just 5 feet away, into her kitchen windowsill where the morning light poured in. We added a small lamp with a warm amber glow nearby and placed a bowl of Himalayan salt under the shelf. Within a week, she reported sleeping better, dreaming less intensely, and waking up with more energy. She even said her conversations with her kids were smoother, less emotionally charged. That's the Cancer experience. Your home reflects your emotional state, but also influences it. So if something feels off in your life, especially around money, safety, or emotional balance, start by looking at where you've placed your plants. They might be telling you something. If you're a Cancer, here are 3 things you can do to make sure your snake plant supports your abundance instead of blocking it. First, move it out of your bedroom. As tempting as it is to keep it near your heart space, it's too yang. Instead, place it in the kitchen or dining area somewhere tied to nourishment and family. These spaces are still intimate but can handle stronger energy. Second, pair it with elements that bring emotional grounding. A soft mat under the pot, a photo of your family nearby, or even a handwritten affirmation tucked under the base. These small touches help the plant integrate into your emotional rhythm without disrupting it. Third, check in with the plant often, not just its leaves, but its feeling. Is it vibrant? Does it feel stale? Your sensitivity as a Cancer gives you the ability to read subtle shifts. Trust that the snake plant is a protector, but it needs attention too. Here's a bonus tip once a month. Around the full moon, take 5 minutes to sit quietly near the plant and speak out loud what you're ready to release. Whether it's worry, overthinking, or emotional clutter, the full moon is your reset button, and your snake plant, in the right place, can become your silent partner in letting go. Cancer, you don't need to be less emotional to thrive. You just need your environment to hold you, not drain you. Feng Shui isn't about rules, it's about relationship. And your relationship with your space is one of the most powerful tools you have. So check in with your plant, check in with yourself, make small changes, and watch how your emotional energy begins to stabilize. Because when you feel safe, seen, and supported, abundance flows naturally. Now let me give you another example. A woman named Elaine, also a Cancer, lived in a tiny city apartment. She had limited natural light, but still kept a snake plant right near her nightstand. It made her feel cared for, like a piece of nature close by in the chaos of New York. But she also constantly struggled with feelings of fatigue, overwhelm, and financial uncertainty. The snake plant, though beautiful, was slowly browning, and she was watering it often, thinking it just needed more love. In truth, it was abs. We moved it into her small dining nook instead, still within her daily view, but away from where she sleeps. A week later, she reported better rest and even received a long-delayed payment she had almost given up on. Sometimes, moving a plant is like telling the universe you're ready for movement in life, too. Cancers also tend to hold on to things emotionally: souvenirs, memories, past hurts. That emotional clutter shows up in the home. If the area around your snake plant is cluttered with old mail, expired coupons, or unused kitchen gadgets, the energy can't move, and when energy doesn't move, neither does money, opportunity, or healing. So as a Cancer, try this when you clean your plant space. Treat it like a self-care ritual. Light a candle, play soft music. Thank the plant for protecting your energy. Then ask yourself, what part of me needs more space? What emotion is ready to be released? It's not just a plant, it's a message. When you treat your home like a living ally, not just a place to live, you begin attracting more of what supports you: peace, health, and yes, even prosperity. All right, Leo, now it's your turn. You bring the sunshine into every room you enter. Ruled by the sun, you have this bold, radiant energy that draws people in. You love to express yourself through your wardrobe, your space, even your plants. If there's one zodiac sign that knows how to make a house feel vibrant and alive, it's you. But here's the catch. Sometimes your love of beauty and attention can lead you to place things for visual impact rather than energetic flow. And that includes your snake plant. Let's be real, Leos love drama. In the best way, you're likely to place your snake plant in a spot that looks amazing in photos. Maybe right by the balcony window where the sunlight streams in, or next to your bookshelf, angled just perfectly for that Instagram shot. It makes you feel good, and honestly, it probably looks great. But in Feng Shui, looks aren't everything. Placement isn't just about where something fits, it's about how it breathes and how energy flows through and around it. Take Jamal, for example. A Leo through and through. His apartment was stunning. Every corner was a reflection of his creativity and taste. And he had not one but 3 snake plants, all large, all in bright white pots. One stood tall near the entrance, another sat near the window, and the third was in his bedroom. But even with all that greenery, Jamal said he constantly felt drained, like his energy was scattered. And financially, things weren't moving. He worked hard, had great ideas, but nothing seemed to catch fire. We did a quick Feng Shui audit, and it became clear his plants were beautiful, but they weren't supporting his energy. The one by the window, it was too exposed. Instead of grounding energy, it was leaking it. The one by the door was blocking the main chi entryway, and the bedroom one way too stimulating for rest. We moved one to the left side of the entrance, the azure dragon spot, which is known for activating strength and good fortune. We placed the second in his home office, angled so 2 weeks later, Jamal called me, practically buzzing. He'd landed a brand collaboration deal that had been stagnant for months. He also mentioned sleeping better, feeling clearer, and more motivated. He said, "I feel like I got my fire back." That's the power of correct placement. So Leo, here's your checklist. First, resist the urge to treat the plant like a prop. I know aesthetics matter, but this isn't about decorating. This is about activating. Place your snake plant near the front door, but not blocking it. The left side as you look from the outside in is your best bet. That's your power corner where energy enters with strength and pride. Second, go for balance in scale. Leos love grand gestures, but if your space is small, a giant snake plant can overwhelm the flow. Bigger doesn't always mean better. Pick a size that fits one that allows movement, light, and intention to flow freely. Think stage presence, not scenery overload. Third, choose pots that align with your fiery spirit but still ground you. Red, gold, or burgundy pots are great for enhancing your natural fire, but make sure the base is stable and the material feels solid. Ceramic or clay is better than flimsy plastic. You need roots. Leo, not just shine, and finally, let the plant be part of your leadership ritual. Every Sunday night, as you prep for the week, spend 2 minutes with your snake plant. Wipe its leaves. Say your goals out loud. Speak to it like it's your teammate. For Leo, speaking activates energy. That's your superpower. Leo is associated with the heart in astrology. So everything you do when aligned has the power to magnetize people, opportunities, and abundance. But only when your environment reflects that inner confidence, not just outer performance. If your snake plant is drooping, dusty, or feels off, check in with yourself. Are you dimming your light to keep the peace? Are you spending more time pleasing others than fueling your own fire? The plant will tell you. It responds to the energy around it, and so do you. So don't just style your space. Empower it. Let your snake plant be more than background. Let it be your energetic partner, a reminder that your shine doesn't need to be loud to be felt. Place it right, treat it with intention, and you'll be surprised how much more magnetic your life becomes. Let me give you one more example. A woman named Camille, also a Leo, had a stunning loft with dramatic lighting and curated pieces in every corner. Her snake plant sat on a marble pedestal in the center of the living room like a trophy, and honestly, it looked like it belonged in a museum. But she often felt like her creativity was stuck. Despite her impressive vision and natural charisma, projects kept stalling. The plant, as perfect as it looked, wasn't actually helping her manifest. It was just... We moved it slightly just off-center, closer to the southeast corner, and added a small wind chime nearby to encourage energy flow. She said within days, the mood shifted. Not just in the room, but in her. She got a spontaneous invitation to speak on a panel she'd been eyeing for a year. It was like the plant had stopped performing and started partnering. That's what Leo sometimes needs to hear. You don't always have to perform. You can let the things around you hold some of the power too. Your home doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to reflect the fire you actually feel, not the one you're trying to fake. When your plant thrives, it's reflecting your light back to you. So take care of it, and it will take care of you. Now let's talk about Libra. If you're a Libra, balance is your thing. You probably care a lot about how your space feels, not just how it looks, but how it moves, how it flows, and how it welcomes people in. You're the host who thinks about where the chairs go, whether the lighting is too harsh, and what scent makes the room feel inviting. You want harmony, not just visually, but energetically too. But here's the tricky part. In Feng Shui, balance isn't always about symmetry. In fact, too much symmetry can lead to stagnation. And for Libras, who naturally lean toward everything being even and proportional, this can unintentionally block energy rather than guide it, especially when it comes to plants like the snake plant. Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and love. That influence shows up in your aesthetic. You probably place your snake plants in matching pairs, one on each side of a hallway, or flanking a doorway like botanical bookends. It feels right to you. It looks polished, sophisticated, intentional. But in energy terms, it might be too much. Instead of channeling chi, it splits it. The energy gets confused. It doesn't know where to go. I worked with a client named Drew, a Libra who had 2 large snake plants on either side of his living room entertainment center. They looked amazing, sleek black pots, identical height, evenly spaced. But Drew had been feeling stuck, not unhappy, just flat, like nothing was moving. His creative projects were stalled, his income had plateaued, and his space, though beautiful, felt cold. That was the clue. We moved one plant to the farthest left corner of the room, the traditional Feng Shui wealth corner, and added a chunk of citrine for amplification. The other plant we rehomed near a window that caught morning sun. Suddenly, the room felt different, warmer, more alive. Within a few weeks, Drew had landed 2 new freelance clients. He said, "It's like the space started breathing again." So Libra, here's your wisdom: balance isn't always mirror image. It's energetic harmony. Sometimes imbalance is exactly what creates flow. Here's what you can do to make your snake plant work for you. First, choose one strong placement, not 2 equal ones. The back left corner of your main room is a great spot. It's linked to abundance and financial stability. Don't try to even it out with another plant on the other side. Let that one plant own the space. It needs room to radiate. Second, choose containers that reflect warmth and texture. Libras love neutrals and cool tones. But for your plant, go with something that has life, a warm beige, a soft green, even a natural clay pot. It helps ground the plant and keeps the energy from feeling sterile. Third, let the plant guide conversation. That might sound strange, but hear me out. Libras are conversationalists. You thrive in dialogue? Try placing your snake plant in a communal space, like near your dining table or in the corner of your living room, and treat it like a quiet observer. Let it absorb tension and soften the mood. It's not just decoration. It's a silent, energetic moderator. And here's a ritual for you. Every Friday, Venus's day, take 5 minutes to sit near your plant and reflect on what gave you peace that week. Was it a conversation, a sunset, a decision you made? Write it down. Place that note under the pot for the weekend. It charges the plant with gratitude and personal intention, 2 things Libra energy thrives on. Now let me tell you about another Libra, Sandra. She had a cozy apartment with incredible style. Her snake plant lived on a floating shelf, perfectly centered with 2 vases on each side. It was Instagram ready. But she said she kept losing things, small items, her keys, checks, bills. She also felt mentally scattered. We moved the plant down to a floor corner beside a chair where she often read. No more shelf, no more symmetry. And within days, she said her space felt calmer. She found her missing tacks. The lesson here is that energy doesn't need to be balanced in form, it needs to be balanced in function. The snake plant is a stabilizer. Give it space to do its job. Don't trap it in your quest for visual perfection. When you let go of forcing harmony, you invite real alignment. That's the core of Libra energy. When it's empowered, it becomes a magnet for graceful wealth, peaceful relationships, and creative expansion. So take a look around your space. Where are you trying too hard to keep things even? What would happen if you let one thing be bold, a little off-center, a little wild? That might just be the space where your abundance has been waiting to land. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. 4 signs, 4 stories, 1 simple plant. And yet, the difference between feeling stuck and feeling supported came down to something as small as where that plant was placed. That's the climax of all this. It's not about buying a new couch, remodeling your home, or changing your personality. It's about alignment inside and out. You see, energy is real, and it moves whether you pay attention to it or not. The snake plant isn't magic. It doesn't wave a wand and drop a check in your mailbox. But it does act as a mirror. When you take the time to understand what your environment is reflecting back to you, you start noticing things. You begin asking different questions like, why do I always feel drained in this room? Or why do I feel calmer here? And when those questions show up, the answers follow. Virgo learned it wasn't about control, but flow. Cancer saw that emotional safety doesn't always mean closeness. Sometimes it means space. Leo realized that shine without grounding is just glare. And Libra found that true balance isn't about symmetry, it's about harmony. Each shift was small. Move a plant, light a candle, speak an intention. But each one created a ripple, and those ripples turned into results: better sleep, surprise income, clearer focus, and emotional peace. That's the point. It's not just the snake plant, it's your awareness of how energy responds to you. When you honor that relationship, your space becomes an ally, not just a backdrop. So maybe the question isn't where the plant goes. Maybe the real question is, are you ready to shift with it? Because sometimes, changing one small thing outside unlocks something much bigger inside. One of the most beautiful things about energy is that it responds to intention. It doesn't care if your home is big or small, new or old. It responds to how you treat it. And sometimes, we get so used to living in imbalance that we stop noticing it. We normalize clutter. We adapt to fatigue. We overlook the signals like a dying plant, constant delays, or that nagging feeling something's just not right. But the moment we pause and adjust, the shift begins. You move your plant out of the bedroom and suddenly you sleep better. You wipe the dust off the leaves and feel more clarity. You light a candle beside it and your space feels different, calmer, more grounded. These aren't just chores, they're cues. They tell your subconscious that you're ready for more and more peace, more purpose, more flow in the universe. It listens. Every action, no matter how small, is a statement. And when your actions match your intentions, energy begins to move. That's why this isn't just about plants or placement. It's about alignment between who you are, what you want, and how your space supports that journey. So if you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or scattered, look around. Is your home reflecting the life you want, or the one you're trying to leave behind? Start small. Move the plant. Watch what moves in you. If this message spoke to you today, don't let it end here. Go ahead and take one small action. Move your snake plant. Clean its leaves. Choose a new spot that feels right. Not just looks good. Let this be your sign, your moment to shift something, however small, in your space and in your life. And if you felt a spark while listening, you're not alone. There are thousands of people waking up to how powerful their home truly is. So join them. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and drop a comment below. Tell us where your snake plant lives now and what change you're calling in. If you're ready to align your environment with your energy, type this in the comments: I welcome flow, focus, and abundance into my space. And hey, if you know someone whose home needs a little energy makeover, send them this video. It might just be what they've been waiting for. Thanks for watching, for caring, and for taking steps toward a more aligned life. Remember, transformation doesn't always start with a big event. Sometimes it starts with a single leaf and a little intention.